Dale, this is TurboDave here at Performance Corner. Get some bang for the buck ongoing right now. Looking at performance for your car, as far as engine performance. When you're looking at or thinking about going faster, each car is a little bit different, so you got to think about what's good for your car. A lot of some cars are factory turbo, so what's the best bang for the buck? What are you going to get the most horsepower out of? Is it a reflash? Do it engine recalibration, intercooler. Look into your parts and see what they have to offer. Don't go with the first thing that anybody says. Or get some good information. Somebody who's willing to talk unbiasedly about what you're going to get into. If you have a naturally aspirated car, if you're going for an older car and it's got a strong engine, I've said this before, but nitrous is probably one of the best bangs for the buck you're going to get. You're not going to get 50 horsepower for under $1,000 that easy. So if you're looking at that, if you're, some people like noise. They want to hear the sound. They want to hear the engine. So you go with the intake and the exhaust. It's depends on the car. And if you watch my Z video on long tube intakes, there's only a couple of modifications. Only the long tubes work actually. Intakes on the Z's and G's. For the VQ37s, you gotta go with long tube. Number of reasons, but you don't want to get an intake that's sucking in hot air essentially, especially during the summertime, or if you live in an area that's hot all the time. All you're getting is hot engine under the hood, air from the engine sucked into the engine. So it's gonna put your car in a more safe mode in the engine calibration. It takes in the intake air temperature sensors, going to take in, that it's hot air, and it's either going to richen it up to try to use fuel for cooling, or it's going to take some timing out. And everybody's trying to advance timing and take a little bit of fuel and make it a little bit lean is mean kind of thing. So you have to think about that. Is it really working? So best bang for your buck, it really depends on your car. If you have a specific car and you want to learn more about it, leave in the comment section below, ask a question, and we'll get back to you on see what's the best bang for the buck for your car. Generally speaking though, you want something that's a broad range horsepower. More than likely it's going to be some kind of intake, it's going to be some kind of exhaust. The engine in itself is basically a large air pump, and you're trying to get more air in and more air out. So, or create a bigger explosion, with nitrous. And that's what it is. It's a bigger explosion, and it makes your engine turn faster. If you have a turbo or supercharger, you're trying to get more air in, more air out. And the best way to do that is, modify something on the intake or modify something on the exhaust. Create more boost. It's always best to let boost make the work, make the power. But it just depends on your car. If it's naturally aspirated, if you're running an old CRX or old Honda or old Toyota single or twin cam, those things are 100 horsepower, most of them. They're not running a bunch of power. It's easy. For all the old Hondas I did a lot of nitrous. I could do a 50 horsepower single fogger. 50 horsepower. Bam. You're going to smoke most of your competition, and that has the same kind of car. Nowadays everybody's putting the K series in, or you have a B series in it. Yeah, you're going to have way more horsepower right off the bat than the single overhead cam that came in the EF, right? Even if it's a SI D16. Same thing with Toyota. If you had a 4AG, it's 116 horsepower. Nitrous, nothing's going to beat it. Bang for the buck. So if you had a turbo super, yeah, you're going to want to start doing upgrades. But for everything in between, you got to look at your individual car and see what works for it. What's the best bang for the buck. Look to see, because some guys will put a bunch of mods on and you don't know if they're really working together or what mod did what. So, but always remember, you're trying to get more air in, more air out. And that'll be your best bang for the buck. This is Turbo Dave here at Performance Corner. Hope there was some good information here for you. If you like it, please subscribe to our channel. If you want to see something specifically to your car, like we said, leave it in the comments below, and we'll get that that itch scratched. So this is Turbo Dave here at Performance Corner. Have a safe day. Thank you very much. Have a good one.